See, Lolade has had a good day. He's over the moon. See, he's laughing. Um,
Oh my God. How are you? My day was okay. Thank you.
okay, well done, well done. Um, I don't know how many people are here for the first time, but like, quick show of hands if anybody will be in Lagos on the 30th of May. Just a quick show. Me? Anybody else in Lagos? 30th of May. Okay, Ruth will be in Lagos. Israel will be in Lagos. Lola will be in Lagos. Okay, amazing. Okay, crowd is forming. Nice. If you're in Lagos, okay, Ubina is also in Lagos. If you're in Lagos, you definitely have to be at like the opening ceremony of the hackathon. Whether or not you're doing the hackathon, I hope that you're doing the hackathon. But regardless, it would be nice to just have people that we've shared the space, you know.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Like, is it gonna be like a shuttle someone can use? Let's say for example, someone that stays far away.
How
I know
far
you
do you
said on the island. So, for example, I'm staying around, let's say around Bega, close to Moe. Since you're going to Moe side, so I
Okay.
mean, that's how
If you
I just
can,
ask.
the answer, yeah, it should be that if you can find two or three other people that stay around you, I can commit to finding you shortlist. Like, so we partner with shortlist quite a bit. We didn't for this specific event, or for this specific it's not a full event, but for this specific opening ceremony. But I'm more than happy to shoot them a message and get like a rider or something in the area if there'll be more than what, two or three people coming from Bega.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, is that fine? Are you going to find two or three people and let?
Yeah, I could see if I could find.
Yeah, okay. Just let me know if and when you do. More than happy
Okay.
to pick it up from there. Amazing. All right, so it looks like there's going to be a bunch of people in Lagos, except for people that don't stay in Lagos, like Obed. So sorry to hear that. But if you're in Lagos on the 30th of May, you should show up at Access Towers in Lagos. You will have the full details in the next coming days, anyways. If you've signed up to anything and you check your emails, we'll send out full details. So yeah, if you're in Lagos, show up to Access Towers because we'll be there in person, people here, we're learning together, building together, working together. Okay, so there's about almost 20 people in now, and I'm just going to check whether or not our facilitator is around already. Okay, he's not. Let me find him. Oh, my bad. Okay, the facilitator will be joining us in a sec. All right. Could you, yeah, please, where are we joining from? I mean, since there's a bunch of people now from Lagos, I'm just going to, Yusuf is from Abeokuta. Nice to meet you. Anybody else, your name and where you're joining from? I know I'll put mine in the channel. Daniel from joining from, just to get a sense of where people are joining from. I'd like that actually. I know that Yinka is joining from Bega, for example. Who else is joining from here? Samuel from Ewiko. Ewiko. That place sounds very, very, very familiar, and I can't, for the life of me, pin down where I know Ewiko from. Obed also from Abeokuta. Looks like there's an Abeokuta crew. Divine from Enugu. Nice to see you again, Divine. Divine has been at almost all of the workshops, as far as I can remember. So the name stuck. Welcome again, Divine. Yeah, Ewekoro limestone. That's what it is. Thank you for that, Sarah. Yeah, I knew there was something there. There we go. Let's see. Anybody else from? Some weeks ago, we had a bunch of people from Kenya, from Kaduna, from. Okay. All right. So we are 7 minutes in, and I'm going to start in like 2 or 3 minutes, and then the facilitator is joining us. Obviously, it's his show. I'm really looking forward to that actually. But let me see. Israel has his longitudinal. Thank you, Israel. Love that. God bless you. Yeah, if anyone is looking for Israel, if Israel is owing them money, you know where to find him. He has his longitude and latitude in the chat. What I'm really doing is just waiting for, hi David, welcome David. We were going around and telling people where we're calling it from. I'm just waiting for the facilitators to join in as well. Hello Chooks, hello Daniel, hello David, hello Funke, hello Obina. Nice to see you again. Hi, I was going to say hi, Papi, because your name is Papi, but that sounds interesting coming out of my mouth. Hello, Papi. Hi. Okay, I've seen Nika, I've seen Chooks, I've seen Ruth, Baker. Welcome. Oh, there we go. There's Bola. Welcome, Bola. Amazing. Nice to have you. All right.
Hi guys.
Yeah. Welcome. We're just to get started.
I was late.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
No problem. So, I was just going to run through our typical 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes intro, and then the show is really yours. You get to take this away.
No pressure.
So,
No pressure.
let me just do that. I'm about to say the dreaded words. Please let me know when you can see my screen, which probably means you won't see my screen. But let's see. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, you can see my screen. Amazing. So yeah, the artificial future. I always start the session by telling people what it's about, why we're here, what we're doing here. People always ask, why is it called the artificial future? And I give the same speech every time. Like it's really simple when you think about it from our POV. So I'll try to explain our POV. The world is changing. AI has entered the picture for good and for bad. But we are strong proponents in the idea that the world is changing for good or can change for good. And so as a result, we want to encourage active participation in this world, active participation in building this world. And in order to be able to participate actively, you have to understand the technology. Yeah, for good and for bad. Yes, David. You have to be able to understand the technology. You have to be able to interact with it fluently. You have to know how it works under the hood. You have to know how to design, build, shape it around our African context, well, our global context as well. We like to imagine that people are ambitious enough to build for the world. But it's the same idea. You can't build software if you don't understand software. It's the same thing with AI as well. You can't actively participate in this new world without being fluent. And so that's why we're here really, to build a community together as an initiative, one that encourages active participation. And it is why we have designed, the artificial future around 3 pillars. The first pillar is education, then there's building, and then there's exposure. Education, just so that everyone gets an idea of how these things work, how it works behind, under the hood, and most especially, how to, make it work for you, whether you're a young professional, you're just getting started, or you've been at this for a bunch of years. There's so much stuff to learn in the world of AI, like so much stuff, and we try not to limit, how people learn. So whether it's learning how to prompt, or learning about agents, or learning how to vibe code, or learning like how to do AI research, it is very, 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 varied, very, very, very varied. And that's why we designed, 6 weeks of skill building webinars and workshops. This is, I think, the 5th of the series. And so these things have been happening for the past 3, 4 weeks. And what we'd like to say very strongly is none of these webinars, none of these workshops, happen in isolation. The things that you learn here, they build on top of each other. We had a very, very fun couple of weeks, I think 3, 4, the sessions we had, number 2, 3, and 4, how they just build on top of each other. We had Jerry teach us, show us what it means to do personalized software. We had Nkechi talk about how she goes about building some of those software. We had Shubomi come talk about, prompting. We had Andrew from Paystack talk about MCPs as a specific tool. So all of these things, they are so connected once you join all the webinar sessions. And it's just to show that there's this whole world behind the veil of, oh, AI is complex, or AI is bad, or AI is good. Like once you look behind the curtain, there's so much there. The second part of it is hackathons. So we have 2 weekends of hackathons starting on May 30th. This is May 29th, that's my bad. But that's what I was asking at the start of the call, how many people will be in Lagos on the 30th of May. We think you should join us at the AFF. The access store, sorry, we think you should join us there. There will be a quote-unquote opening ceremony. The hackathons will be virtual and in person, so you can join from anywhere in the world. You can form your teams from anywhere in the world. There will be a lot of communications around the hackathon going out this week, because it starts next weekend, not this one, the one after. But you can spend a lot of communications. But all that to say, you can join virtually, but more importantly, you can join us in person as well. There will also be a closing ceremony on the 6th of June at the, I think, Paystack office in Ikeja. And to bring it all together, there's a full-day conference happening on June 13th at the Civic Center, Lagos. That's the exposure pillar of it. There will be a lot of researchers, a lot of founders, a lot of leaders in the AI space who you might or might not have interacted with so far in the course of these hackathons or webinars or workshops. But they will all be there at the conference, and the idea is to come together, bring everyone together, and raise the participation. I am guessing you people can see my screen again. No, you cannot. Okay, that's fine. All right, it's back on. I think it should be. There we go. All right, I'm done anyways. And that is why we are here, with this gentleman on the screen. Bola is going to talk about exploring agents, building them safely. And I think the reason why this session should be interesting is because you can't talk about AI disease without talking about agents. Like, it almost doesn't happen. If you think AI, you think agents. I don't know how many people are very familiar with like building stuff with AI, but it all happens with agents. And so we're very, very happy to have people exposed to the idea of agents, to what they can do. This is Bola's show, so he will run, in detail. But I guess to wrap it all up, like I was saying about the hackathon, none of this stuff happens in isolation. So it's not much of a point, learning all these things if you can't apply it, or if you can't figure out how to include it in your life or into specific problems that you have, which is why we encourage everyone to sign up for the hackathon, join the hackathon. We'll put the links in the chat as the session goes on, so that you can join, sign up to the I guess the Luma, subscribe to the Luma calendar. There are more workshops coming on. There's a very interesting one actually coming up on Tuesday. I'm also very excited for that one. So sign up to the next workshop, sign up to the calendar, sign up to the hackathon. There'll be a lot of communication as the weeks go by, up until June 13th, where everything comes together. So that is that's why we're here. That's what we're doing here. And I think it is time to hand the show over to Bola to take us away. It's your show now, Bola.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much for that. It's an amazing thing you guys are doing. Thank you. Hi guys. Bola Banjo and CEO of Cencori. And basically what we do at Cencori is basically, allowing you guys to, build something with AI, build AI product and all of that. So today I'm going to be talking about, exploring AI agents and how to build them safely. And, let's get into it. So hold on, please. Let me share my screen real quick. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, awesome. So basically, what we're going to do today is explore agents. What are agents? Right? In fact, what is AI? AI is intelligence, right? And I think so far it is the most impressive invention in human history. AI is causing a lot of buzz right now, regardless of the industry you're in. And the agents that we're going to talk about is like a step further beyond just traditional AI. Now, what is AI? What is AI agents? Now, this is a software that observes its environment, makes decisions, and take actions autonomously to achieve a goal. Now, what does autonomous mean? It means you don't need humans in the loop. It takes, actions based on, the set of instructions you've given it previously, right? So it does not need 24/7 supervision from human. Now, for an example, let's say you're trying to build an agent that actually books your flights by checking calendars, comparing prices, and reserving seats. It does this without you being in the picture. That is what agents does, right? To take it, further, I can give another example of, these coding agents. I don't know how technical you guys are, but in software engineering, there's something we call coding agents, right? These are agents that actually just do tasks. Although prompts are needed, but you understand that they actually do things by themselves. They know what to do and how to do them. So yeah. So to compare agents versus traditional software is, for traditional softwares before AI, in fact, they follow specific rules, right? And their outputs are deterministic. You actually expect certain outputs, certain results from them. For example, I'm trying to open a folder. Okay, I go to the folder, I click on the folder, and it opens, right? That is deterministic. I know what I'm going to do. And this computer, I just tell the computer this instruction and it does it, right? And they are reactive. They wait for you to do something. They wait for your input before you can get an output. That is the normal chatbot you're using, the ChatGPT and all of that. And you expect the same result every time. You know the result you're trying to get. So for AI agents, it's actually a bit different. In fact, a lot different, because they reason through goals. They know the goal they're trying to achieve. They know what they're trying to achieve, or what you are trying to achieve. In fact, that's how impressive they are. And they adapt to context. Now, what are context? Context is basically this knowledge you give it. You understand? This knowledge base that you feed into these agents that, let's say you're building a business and you feed it context. It's contextual now, right? And they adapt to it. And they act autonomously. I think I've explained what autonomous means. So you don't need to be in the loop every time. And for example, let's say you're trying to build a customer support agent. You don't need to be in the loop for that. The AI agent handles your customer support, straight away. So that is it. And they learn and they improve time to time. Every time they learn and they improve. That is what makes them really, really impressive. Now, they are impressive, of course, but they are very, very dangerous. Now, the danger here is, first of all, they have amnesia. Let me just, I want to use simple English now. If your context is not enough, the memory that you're giving it is not enough, they tend to forget, right? This is where the memory comes in and all of that. So, the standard APIs, they forget everything when a session ends. I don't know how well you guys are using ChatGPT, but if you're having a chat, right, it understands until you open a new chat, and then that's, the entire conversation is over. It does not know anything about that anymore, except to keep chatting in that same context, right? So the second one is anarchy. If your agent doesn't have enough guardrails, right, to, put them in place, put them in check, they can go crazy. They can go crazy, and they can turn they can turn something good into something destructive. If you're running a business, if you're a business person trying to adapt AI and you don't have specific guardrails for it, you can turn your business upside down. It's crazy. So also, the last one is bankruptcy. If your agent is running on a recursive loop, they can trigger about 5,000 APIs within a minute. You understand? And these API calls are expensive. They cost money. So without, spending controls, you can wake up to a very, very huge model bill, which is it's expensive. It's very, very expensive. So the risk of agents in the wild is if you don't have security firewall, that's like, PII masking, no jailbreak filtering, and, leak protection, your agents are very, very open to prompt injection attacks, which means people can, I don't know, a prompt injector can actually remove information from your agents. It's risky. Zero reliability. Let's say Claude is down. If Claude goes down, that means your agent is down also. No fallback loop, no automatic failover. It's a killer business. It kills your business that moment, right? Then the invoice nightmare. If there is no way to calculate or charge your end user for the tokens your agent is consuming, this can get really expensive, like I've said earlier. So those are the risks of running agents. Now, I use a tool, right? I use Cencori, my company, to build most of my agents, and we solved most of these problems, and we are still solving it, right? So currently, it's just one line of code, right? You add the guardian layer, you add the base URL, and your model call per agent, by the way, and that is it. That's all you need. And to bring this to a close, for Cencori, if you're actually building with tools like Cencori, right, you get access to the failover we talk about, right? Multiple models for your multiple agents. That is multiple failovers also. You have security firewalls, and they block prompt injections, the PI leakage we talk about, and you can actually have access to more models. And you get to charge your own users per the token cost your agent is consuming per month, in fact. So yeah, that is how agents are. Agents are the most impressive software. It's the most impressive software out here right now, because they make things easy. You can automate anything in any industry, or I don't say anything, but certain aspects of your business in most industries right now. They're impressive. Now, to give you an overview of what I've built with what the agent I've built, I'm going to show you how to get started. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, please. Terminal. Am I back on?
You are.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, to get started, right? It's just one line. You need to, type into this. And if you're not technical, if you're not engineering heavy, this is still something that you can, work around with, because we've made it very, very easy. We've made it super easy for you to get started. Now, what you need to type in your terminal is npx creates Cencori app, then the name of your, agent you're trying to build. Let's say bank agents. That is all. That is all you need to get started. It's very, very easy. So we're going to wait for it to boot up. I'm going to use Next.js. I'm going to include the chat UI. No, for now. I would add my API key later. And we're going to wait for it to finish and boot up. So yeah, this is how you build AI agents. Please give me a minute. It's loading, so let's give it a minute until it's done. So yeah, other examples of AI agents is like Cursor. We have Cursor. We have in fact, these new ChatGPTs, designs are designed to be agentic now. They can search the web, they can call tools for you, they can even, Claude can actually wire up pitch decks, right? Presentation decks and all of that. So yeah, that is what agents do. Why is this taking so long? But yeah, that is how you get started. You get started fully, right? And I'm going to be showing you that. But this is the agents that I've built so far. And it's basically a bank, agents, right, for bank employees and all of that to explore. And, so to automate the part of, oh, I'm trying to look for context and all of that. I don't need to, look for hierarchies. I don't need to contact my manager anymore. I can just come here and, ask these agents and it does it for me. So let's test it out, shall we? I want to ask about payment estimates. I have this right here. The client wants a $50,000 loan for 36 months. What monthly repayment should I quote, right? You can see the tool calling here. This is agentic workflow in play, right? It searched knowledge base, it calculated the loan, and it gave me my desired output. I hope you can see that. So this is basically what an agent does. Do you understand? They don't guess around. They give you results based on what you're actually, aiming for. You feed it your knowledge, the tool calls and all of that, and you have a very, very dynamic result, right? So yeah, this is basically what an agent is. And of course, I'm using Cencori, so I've added a lot of guardrails. I've added a lot of guardrails to this and security, and if I'm to make this public, there is a way I can actually view my users, right? So that is basically how to get started with agents. Let's check if, okay, so our project is done. Bank agents, let's open that. So here it is. So you can see I'm in my project already. Now, that's where maybe. So you can see you get started immediately, right? Now, if I'm to take this forward, this is a new project, right? But I have not configured a lot of things yet. First of all, it comes with this free model that you can get started with immediately. And I'm just going to let me get to my dashboard, create another API key. I'll call it bank agents. Create the key. I'll copy. I'll come to my env.local. As you can see, it's there already. It's scaffolded already. So all you need to do is just paste your API key, and that is it. So I come to the roots. This is where the model calling takes place, right? This is where I can add my model. Hold on, let me copy the model ID. I don't know that's of it. So when it comes to Cencori, we offer a bunch of free models that you can test out, you can experiment with. I'm currently trying to experiment. So I'm going to copy this model ID and paste it here. That is it, and that is all you need. That is all you need, and you're ready to go. So I can say hi. As you can see, it responded back. It responded back. So you can now go forward, go ahead to actually customize this, add features that you want to add, specifically to the business you're trying to build, and you're good to go. We've simplified the process for you. All you need to do is build now. All you need to do is go build. That is it. So right now I've been seeing some questions down here, and I'll be answering them. The model basically is the brain. The brain, right? This is what this is the engine. Model is the engine that actually provides this dynamic result and outputs for you. It's actually using RAG, right? It's using RAG, and basically it's very, very important for knowledge base and all of that, because this is internal. It's RAG heavy, very, very RAG heavy. So yeah, it's RAG. So if there's any other questions, please, you can turn on your microphone and ask. I'm here. Okay, so RAG basically it's.
Oh no! When you're done with
Sorry?
the ones in the chat, so when you're done with the ones in the chat, just wanted to as there are people with their hands raised also.
Okay, no problem. So basically, RAG is retrieval augmented generation, right? Basically retrieves knowledge, the knowledge you've given it, of course. So that is what it does. So it does not guess, answers. It gives you accurate answers that, tailors to your needs, to your specific needs, to your specific industry and all of that. Sorry, I don't, Fumi, I don't understand this question. What brought up the name Cencori for the AI? Can you can turn on your mic and, ask me properly. So yeah, Daniel, you can go on.
Yeah, no, so Divine and I think Bola Banjo Mohammed both have their hands up. So whoever wants to go first, I think Divine raised his hands first. So over to you, Divine.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we go.
Okay. My question is, it's not necessarily about what I've just been saying. It's just a question I've had on my mind for a while. So the question is, do you think open source AI agents are bigger opportunities, or they are bigger security risks about now, or should I say in the next 3 years to come, with the way everything is going? That's the question.
I actually think open source, models will open more opportunities for us, because we need cheap models now, right? And these open source models are the things giving these frontier companies, they're giving them a hard time to cheapen their models. So we need cheaper models, we need faster models, we need more capable models, and that is what open source is going to give us, and a lot more, in fact. So yeah, they're not, they are going to provide more opportunities. Yeah. Yes, actually, they can work without human supervision. But depends on your industry, though. But if you're building like a customer support, I don't think you need to be in the loop 24/7. Divine, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bola Banjo, I think you're next. There you go.
Good evening. Good evening, Bola.
Good evening, Bolu.
Yeah. I just want to be very clear about what Sensory does because the last time I saw it on LinkedIn, I'm actually a follower on LinkedIn since day one, and I've been curious how it might help what we are building at my startup. I'm not a dev, I'm just a founder, but I would like to know what Sensory is in a layman term. Since I'm not a developer, so I want to be able to understand Sensory in a way that a 16 years old boy will be able to understand it. So far, what I understand is that Sensory is a venture that helps you build your AI agents. And one of the other things I also capture from what you say is it can help you gather input different models, which is either from OpenAI, from Claude, Anthropic, and all that, can help you bring all this together to feed one particular agent. So you connect the brain of different models together to feed one particular agent, and it can help you deal with the costing, which is because each agent, if you are using them for real work, maybe you are not using the free models, each agent costs per token and all that. So you said Sensory can help you deal with the cost because we are currently building something related to that, whereby we have to really know what we are dealing with when it comes to unit
Yeah,
economics, right? So that's why
yeah.
I want to understand better. Maybe if you can give a scenario in a layman term, I might be able to understand better and see how we can fit in. Thank you.
To be honest, you've pretty much summed it up. That is what sensory does, right? Uh, so to simplify it, right, we are like a middle layer between these models and your application. Your application being, the front-facing consumer side of your company, your product. So we are sitting in the middle to aggregate a lot of things. We want to give you better models. We want to give you more capable models. We want to give you, the opportunity to actually secure your own, your workflow, your AI workflow. So if I'm to simplify it a bit further, I would say we empower you as a builder, as a founder, to build more capable AI products. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So does it mean that we don't really need um, an AI developer to do the work? We just employ sensory software to do it, or we still need an AI developer to do the work, and they just use your software to do their work for us. So is
Yeah.
it something
So
we can use without a dev?
I think there are two answers to this, right? It's a dev tool. It's meant to, enhance and empower AI engineers, software engineers, and all of that, right? But as a founder, you can actually leverage Sensory because it's easy to set up. I mean, I just set up an agent in about 5 minutes just now, right? So it's easy to set up. But if you don't want to go through those hassle, right, of memorizing this line, although we have documentation for it, but if you don't want to go through the hassle of memorizing these lines and the model configuration and all of that, then you need to have a developer. You understand?
All right, all right, all right. Thank you. So if we are going to be using the agents for um, we are building an infrastructure company and we want to build the agents and sell it to the market. So it's not that we are building for our own business itself. So how is that how complicated can this be since we are not developing on our own, we are building on sensory and we are selling outside? Is there a difference in that space?
No. It's normal. Just do it the normal way. That is it. That is it. You don't need any manual or further complications.
All right. And I hope we can maybe have a representative to give us an index on what you can do, or maybe there is a space we can be at to understand better what you. But I know for sure, Sensory is solving the problem of you having to build from the scratch, get a developer to build an agent, a model from the scratch. I know it's solving that. So I'm seeing a lot of opportunities here. So I would like to see an opportunity to discuss with a representative better to further understand, you know. So,
Yeah, you can reach out. You can reach out anytime. Anytime.
Sounds like an excuse
Thank
for
you.
you to be at one of our in-person days for the hackathon, Bola. People want the representative. You have to do the representative.
Fair enough. I think Divine has a question.
Divine, and I think David Itima did at some point, and then I can see a bunch of questions in the chat as well. So let's take Divines and maybe David's first.
Okay. Wait. Let me answer Yusuf first. Hi. Of course, there's pricing. We price our platform, right? But to get started officially, you don't need to, pay anything. But we actually charge on the platform. We charge for the platform.
Divine, I think you're going next.
Okay. My question is in your own opinion, what do you think will matter? Like, we're already entering the AI era as of now. So, in your own opinion, what do you think will matter more? Like in the AI era, do you think is model intelligence or infrastructure reliability? So I don't know if you
Basically,
got my
infra reliability, to be honest, because yes, I did. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, if you're building a product, right, or an AI product, let me be specific, and your underlying infrastructure is not strong enough, I mean, there's a lot that could go wrong, right? I mean, not just for AI alone, I mean, for the entire software life cycle in general. So infrastructure reliability plays a very, very huge part, to be honest. And I don't think there is a problem when it comes to model, because as we are improving, models will become more capable and more smarter. You understand? So I think the underlying problem would be to have a very, very strong infrastructure. Was that clear enough?
Yes, thank you very much.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Next, I think there's Fumi raising. Fumi is raising his hands. Fumi, you can go next, please.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Fumi. How are you doing?
I'm fine. So my question is, what advice can you give a beginner entering AI development?
Understand foundations, to be honest. I think that is like that is the standard for every industry. So you should understand how tokens work, how LLMs work. That is that should be a beginning phase, right? So everything after that is just an added or is just an add-on. You understand? So just understand the basics and you're all set. You're set.
Okay. So my second question is like, What is the biggest misconception people have about AI agents?
Um, to be honest, in my own perspective, I would say that they are not destructive and they can trust it. We can trust it 100%, but we can't because AI agents are still clumsy. These models, the current models, are still very, very clumsy, in fact. And if your, let's say, if your workflow is not solid enough, then there's a lot that could go wrong, right? There's a lot that could go wrong when you're using an AI agent. So the trust layer is still one of the biggest misconception and all of that. But we are trying to. There are safety programs out there that are being released almost every 6 months or so. That puts these AIs in a safe environment that they can run. So yeah, that should be it for me.
Yeah, just before we move on from that, so I've just found and put in the chat a link. So Anthropic apparently does they have a lot of learning resources. So when Bola said get familiar with the fundamentals, I went and quickly just grabbed that link. So I've put it in the chat for anyone that just like to learn a bit more about. Actually, like a lot of things you've been talking about, but maybe you want to do it on your own time at your own pace. I've just put that link in there. Check it out. There are also a lot of other materials out there in the world. Through the course of this, I'll keep searching and trying to share with the group. But please take a look at the links in the chat as well. Okay, so we can move on to I guess maybe David.
Thank you for that, Dan.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, good afternoon. Oh, good evening.
Good evening, David.
I'm a student of Covenant University and in my final year. Okay, I think I'm just on the lobby. So first of all, I've really delved myself into AI and machine learning for like this over a year now, and AI engineering. I've really delved myself in it, and I've done more of AI engineering. So basically, I want to go into LLM engineering and like to really understand the let's say the reasoning behind models and like how models really work. But at the same time, the world is also going into like agentic AI at most. So like everyone will say, I want to get an advice on either LLM engineering should I go for or agentic AI.
Correctly. Are you asking about AI, artificial intelligence and ML, machine learning engineering, for the sake
Okay.
of clarity?
No, okay, I said that I've already delved into AI and machine learning for a really long time, like over a year now, and AI engineering. So now I would love to go deep into LLM engineering. That is like understanding how models really work. At the same time, I'm also curious about agentic AI. That is like building agents and multilingual, all this everything involving agents building. So which path would you say or would you advise me to go into that is like
Well,
heading into the world?
honestly, the world is actually heading towards agents now. Almost all the companies, all products are becoming agentic. Even I think I mentioned earlier today that even ChatGPT itself, they actually integrated this agentic workflow into their interface, right? Where you get to see if it's search the web, you can actually see it search the web and all of that, right? So those are like agent workflows. So the world is actually moving towards agentic AI. So you should actually, steer towards that.
What I'll say also, just before we also move on that, thanks for asking the question, David, is that there will be, when you were talking, I was remember, so as part of the hackathon, there will be a bunch of, I guess, AI practitioners. So some of those people include AI engineers, LLM engineers, machine learning engineers, researchers as well. Hopefully, both are either as part of the hackathon or in the conference. And one thing that always helps is to find a way to place yourselves in front of these sorts of people and engage them in conversation, because there will be a lot of information or advice that they can provide that you might not get from a 10-minute Q&A on a Thursday evening. So any opportunity you can find to put yourselves in front of those sorts of people, please take the initiative too. Very happy to hear that you've been doing this for a year. Please, if you can, make sure that you join the hackathon. There will be other people like you also, strong in ML, strong in AI engineering that are looking to build. And I think just being with and around those sorts of people will help you, I guess, will give you a better idea of, where you want to land in the next few years.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
No problem. One more hand up. For me, okay, no hands are up. All right, then maybe we go for the questions in the chat. Nice. So I'll leave you to answer in whatever order you want in the chat, Bola.
Okay. Adefunke, hi. About making independent decisions that don't define boundaries between human control and machine autonomy. Well, basically, this is where guardrails come into play, right? You put specific safety rules, right? So these agents don't, miscalculate and do all of those autonomous, destructive, actions. So it's just like how we as humans, I don't want to compare AI to humans, please, but we have specific do's and don'ts in life, right? So AI needs to actually have it. So if you're building an agent, you need to place these do's and don'ts, right, in your workflow. So your agent basically, knows what to do and knows what not to do. An example of this is OpenClaw. I don't know if you guys are aware of OpenClaw, but OpenClaw is this very, very advanced AI, right? Advanced agent, in fact, it's a very, very advanced agent that does tasks for you, right? So if you're actually setting that up, you place some guardrails in the agent that, okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't delete my database, but do this. You can search the web, right? You can text me around this time. Don't text me around this time. So those are the guardrails that can prevent, that's the line. That's how you can draw the line between human in the loop and agents' autonomy. So yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Guessing it does. Maybe we move on to the next. Any other questions? I think there's a bunch in the chat if you just want to go through. And
oh, I'm just seeing this. Answered the RAG. Answered answered this. Agents can work without constant human supervision, but it depends on your industry, right? And it depends on what you're trying to build it with. So if you are building a customer support agent, I don't think you need to be in the loop 24/7. How is an AI agent different from AI chatbots? So they are pretty different, right? Agents are softwares that actually takes decisions. They make decisions. They take actions, right? Without you being in the loop. But for AI chatbots, they require your input first. You have to actually send hi. You have to send a request before they will give you, the response. So that is like the difference. Which one again? How do agents use and remember information? This is where RAG comes in. I mentioned RAG earlier, and I explained that they extract, information from the knowledge. Or you understand? That is basically how agents use informations. Okay, so I think I've answered most of it. Well, they are coming up. Meta is coming up, to be honest. They are improving, and they are doing all they can to improve their models. But I can't really say more than that.
Yes, just gonna chip in. So Mohammed Bolo had asked, sorry, are previous sessions accessible in recordings? Yes, and we are starting to share those recordings as time goes on. So I think 2 of the 4 sessions currently have their recordings out there. Probably a few more will have the recordings going up ASAP as well. So watch out for those. If you're signed up to any of the sessions or to the Luma calendar, we'll usually send out a blast when those things go out. And we'll try to make sure that we keep doing those so that you get an email at some point that the recordings are out. But you can also check the YouTube. So we have a YouTube. I'll try and find it before we close off. But there's a YouTube that hosts the recordings as well. Yes. Oh, I'm assuming that O is a O of surprise. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Toby. All right. Any more questions? Any other questions? No. Okay. In which case, actually, we're at time, but this is probably where we say a very, very, very big thank you to you, Bola. Loved the session so far. Amazing. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk. Agents, for taking the time to talk. Cencori. Yinka has a question before we go. Is that a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, it's concerning the API. Like, I was thinking, like, can I like purchase like an API from OpenRouter to use to build the agents? Because OpenRouter has it's like a pay as you go API. So I was thinking, can it still work using the agents?
If you're trying to build agents on Cencori,
Oh yes.
yes, you can actually. And also to clarify, Cencori is also pay as you go. So you can explore Cencori instead. But if you are, yes, you can actually use OpenRouter, but there is one caveat though: extra latency. As you know, OpenRouter is also a model aggregator, right? So they also sit between your application and these models, right? And they give you range of models. You understand? So they go through Cencori first. They go through OpenRouter first, your model in your case, then before they go through Cencori. So that's like extra latency, and I don't think you want that in your product. So if you want to use OpenRouter, you can just use OpenRouter. But if you want to use Cencori, you can just use Cencori instead. So yeah.
I quite like the idea of I'm putting you on the spot, by the way, but very random, off the cuff. But I quite like the idea of Cencori being involved in the hackathon. We already said maybe you should show up, but also it seems a few people are expressing interest in building with agents. I'm more than happy to to see whether or not we can bring Cencori on so that people that are at the hackathon can build some agents with Cencori. Maybe they get some credits, or we teach them how it works, how to plumb things together, that sort of thing. Happy to, I know I just said it out on the spot, but happy to check how we can bring that to life ahead of the hackathon.
Obviously, and that is actually good because we've been planning. My co-founder is on my ass, bro. So we've been planning something internally, right? And we are actually putting together an academy on how to build AI, right? So you don't get left behind on this AI race. So I mean that is the contribution that we can provide for now. And as as we grow, there is also an opportunity for credits, for free credits. In fact, you can even offer up to $100 credits. So, but for now, we are putting together this academy to actually enlighten people on, the benefits of AI and how to build with AI.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Actually, that sounds very great. I'm sure there are a bunch of people here that want to start. How do people learn about or get access to that academy? How do we funnel people over?
It's not live yet, but we can speed things up immediately. So yeah.
Okay, so you guys speed things up, and for those that are interested, I think we'll try and make sure that we're also communicating. We're communicating that when it happens to you guys. So when Cencori's Academy goes live, we'll let you guys know. Follow them on socials. Follow them on socials and all of that. In the meantime, yes, question I see, what can founders do in the hackathon as non-devs? For everybody here that's, maybe you're not an AI engineer, you're not an ML engineer, you're wondering whether you should join the hackathon. Please join the hackathon. There's so much to do that does not involve development. And mind you, if you have watched any of the past 2 or 3 sessions, you will see that these days there's a lot you can build without, being a developer. I'm a product manager for context. I go to a lot of hackathons. I am always at a hackathon. I'm always building stuff. I never learned how to code. I still don't know how to code. But what I've learned is how to make software work in certain ways. And so there's a lot of that you can learn at this hackathon. And also, the hackathon will have pitches. You have a pitch deck. You have presentation. There will be design. You people will brainstorm. There's even a very non-technical track that involves creative writing and storytelling. Which, by the way, if you're a content marketer, if you're a storyteller, if you're someone that just likes to talk, a TV presenter, there's a track for you. Check out the details actually on the hackathon. Actually, I will share the details of the non-technical one. Once again, sign up for the hackathon so that in this week that's coming, once we start putting out all the information, you can get as much of it as possible. Wouldn't want you to miss that. But in the meantime, let me share that non-technical one for you guys here. And yeah, follow Cencori socials if you want to keep track. So someone has their hands raised. Barring, I can't see your full name, but please go ahead. Ask your question.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone can hear me. Yeah, I have a question for Bola. Real simple. I've been going through Cencori's blogs and quite impressive stuff you guys have been doing so far. Kudos to you on that. But I have a question in terms of how you guys would kind of like engineer a voice facing LLM, like an LLM which is text-based within an agentic workflow structure. Like I think most of you guys architecture kind of like revolves around like text-based like outputs, and most of your solutions are kind of like revolved around that. So for example, looking at your tokenization like PII security solution, right? How would that work within the context of like a voice agent? Like say there is a interacting with the voice agent, and within that conversation, there's likely gonna be like some spill of some spill of sensitive information. Since it's not text-based, since it's voice real time, how would such a solution work around?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. And first of all, we've not explored that yet. I think currently we only have image and text, right? So, but if we're actually to look into it, we can go through this architecture of converting to text first, convert to text, then back to, to voice. So that is the best way we can do that. You understand? And I think this should be the standard. That should be the standard currently. So yeah.
If wouldn't that conversion like have some latest in cost and stuff. Because like I mean, at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, like the conversations are real time, and like if we're saying okay, within that conversation, I convert it to like text and things like that. Given that you guys have not yet explored this, I don't want to put you on the spot with that, but like it's just something I'm thinking about.
I mean, I answered based on what could be possible in the industry, but if I make enough research on it, I mean, there's a lot of solutions that can actually come out of that. So yeah.
All right, thank you. Would you be at the
No.
hackathon? I would like to really discuss further with you.
Yes, I will be. Daniel will not let me go. I will be.
All right,
Amazing.
thank you.
Well, that means Byron will also be at the hackathon. Amazing. See you guys on the 30th of May. I know that is. But
I will definitely be.
all right. Anyone else? Any other questions? We were supposed to have this earlier, but at this point, I'm very glad people are asking the right questions. People are wanting to have more conversations. So if you're in front of your keypad, in front of your phone, please go ahead and share your socials, your contacts, where people can find you online. One of the big reasons why we do this is so that people can learn with each other outside of these sessions. People can build their networks with each other outside of these sessions. A lot of the things I've learned in AI have come from people that I've met and kept in contact with. So please do so. Please share your LinkedIn, where you want people to find you, if that's your socials, your portfolio, whatever that looks like. I will also say, thank you so much, Bola. Now that the questions are finished, thank you very much. I think this was amazing. I think the fact that we've even gone over time means people are curious and engaging. So thank you very much. Really love that. Like I said at the start of the session, none of this is useful if you don't do anything with it afterwards. So where and if you can, please sign up for the hackathon. Please show up for the conference if you're in Lagos. Let's keep this fluency going. Like there's so much to be done. There's so much that we have planned for the next year, next 2 years. And it requires involvement, active participation from everybody that is here. We absolutely love the idea of people building things together and hacking together. You do your demo day at the YPIT conference, and we put you in some sort of launch pad where you find, your next investment partners, or you find your next customers, or your next B2B investors, that sort of thing. So please connect with each other. Please get actively involved. I will pause here to see if anyone has questions, thoughts, or concerns that are not related to agents specifically. Maybe anything you've been thinking about around if this is not your first time joining, any clarification questions around the artificial future, any of that. Okay, no. I was saying earlier that I'm also
Sir, I have a question.
Someone has a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any like structure in place to like finding teammates for the hackathon.
Yes, we will. So like I said, all the hackathon information is going out at the end of this week, start of next week. So there's about 300 people out now. We are trying to get everyone's information before we start sending stuff out. So if you check your inbox, anyone that signed up, you should have gotten a very detailed form. Where if you don't have a teammate, or you don't have teammates yet, it will be in the form. If you're in person, if you're online, it will be in forms. All of that information that means that we can pair you together properly where that's possible. Just fill in those details. We're also exploring the idea of a WhatsApp like group community setup for everyone that's participating in the hackathon, so that communication can be swift, fast, literally on the go, that sort of thing. So yes, there will be a lot of those structures coming in place in the next few days. Just keep an eye out. Did I answer your question, Baron?
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. All right. So also everyone that's here, I think you should be also here next Tuesday. There's a group of amazing AI researchers talking about linguistics and data. They're researchers that work on expanding the amount of languages that LLMs can support. And they do it in an amazing way. Like they are as of today, I think ChatGPT can only do like 14% of Hausa words. They are actively expanding that across so many LLMs. So it's so interesting to see, people that are just taking the things that we interact with day to day, such as language, and feeding it back into these amazing tools that work for everybody. So that will be a very interesting, very curious session to attend. And once again, I cannot overplug it. Join the hackathon. It starts next week or the week after. If you have friends that you think they like to build, they like to tinker around with stuff, get them to join as well. I see a lot of people have shared their LinkedIn, so nice to meet you guys. I'll be tagging your LinkedIn as well if and when I can. And I think this is where we adjourn for the evening. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Sending all the hearts. Yes, there we go. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you for taking the time on a wonderful Thursday evening. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. All right. Bye, everyone.